Good afternoon, it's Doug from Vermont Hoyas. Today is total solar eclipse day. Here in Vermont we're only supposed to get about 65% of the eclipse, but anyway, that's the day, and welcome to a visit with myself and a revisit with Hoya lockii. Now, the first time I brought you this plant I think was about 3 years ago, when I naively said this is got to be one of the easiest Hoyas of all to grow, because I planted it in regular soil and it quickly grew a few leaves and flowered for me, and I thought, wow, this is great, this is easy. Well, right after I shot that video, the plant rapidly went downhill and I came extremely close to losing it. Only saved it by a cutting. And then I suffered with this plant for 2 years trying to keep the thing alive. I could always get it to reroot and start, then the leaves would yellow and fall off. It's very susceptible to leaves yellowing when it's not, conditions aren't to its liking. So I thought I would share with you what seems to be working the best for me. I tried this in semi-hydro, and apparently some people have pretty good luck with it that way, but that didn't work for me either. So what seems to be working the best for me right now is a coarse orchid bark mixed, big chunks of charcoal, big chunks of bark, and large perlite, and mixed in with probably 30% sphagnum moss. This seems to keep it damp. This is a moisture loving species and it seems to love it. If you can see right here, there's sphagnum moss on top of this plant, and right there you can see how healthy it is. It's covered with buds and blooms. I want to show you another plant that looks seemingly healthy, but it's got some issues. This is a plant here that it was planted in pure orchid bark before I discovered the fact that it actually grows best with sphagnum moss. Anyway, the roots grew right down through the pot so thickly and adhered to the saucer that it's in. So the only thing that I can do to keep this plant growing well and healthy is once a day I have to fill the entire saucer with water, let it soak in this, and then I pour the water out of the plant. There's no way I could get this plant out of here without destroying it. The roots are completely turned in a circle, completely matted inside of that pot. So eventually I'm going to be forced to cut this into 2 or 3 cuttings because it can't be removed from the pot. But I figure as long as it's doing so well and I don't have any trouble pouring water in it once a day, I'll keep it this way for a while. But as soon as I start getting a few yellow leaves, I'm going to chop it up into cuttings. These plants are grown completely under artificial light. They seem to love it. So that's it. I just wanted to come back and tell you that this plant is not nearly as easy as I first thought it was. So if you're struggling with it, don't worry. I struggled with it plenty myself, and I've almost gave up on it at times, but I'm really happy with how it's doing now in the sphagnum moss mixed with large bark. You keep this thing, never let it get too dry. Keep it on the damp side all the time, growing in sphagnum moss, bark, a little bit of charcoal, and large perlite. And anyway, it does great for me, and maybe this might be a method that might work for you as well. So that's it for now, and welcome. I mean, thank you for visiting with myself, or revisiting with myself and Hoya lockii, and I'll be back really soon with another great Hoya.